into the technocracy documents of David F.O.R.
Oh.
We're live? All right. You ready to your...
Yeah, I'm about to share it right now.
Okay. Okay, we good? All right.
Hello, broccoli. Doing a lot. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, and I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Hamashiach. This is a F.O.R reading, Shabbat services. My name is Marakai Yahweh Rabban Yasharala, and to my left,
Nathaniel Allah. This week's Torah portion, we'll be picking up where we left off that last week in Exodus, the 13th chapter, verse 17, to Exodus, the 17th chapter, verse 16. The mighty exodus of us leaving Egypt and coming into the promised land as we make our way. All right. This week's Torah portion is Beshalach, roughly, which means when he is sent. When he sent. All right. Transliteral. So the Torah portion I just mentioned, Exodus 13 to Exodus 17. The half Torah portion we'll be reading about Deborah and Barak in Judges, the 4th chapter, verses 4, all the way to Judges, the 5th chapter, verse 31. The Brit Kadash, also known as the New Testament portion, we'll be reading in Matthew, the 14th, verse 22 to verse 33. So with that being said, this week's weekly rant, a lot to talk about. I'm sure everybody has undivided attention about this week's rant. Because it vastly affects our people. It affects our people on what? Public assistance. All right? EBT, AKA food stamps. All right? A lot of people have been getting messages via their cell phones, a text, or by texting, computerized messages saying that you will be receiving maybe extra money on your on this month's food stamp voucher. But you need to budget your money because there will be no food stamps being issued in the month of February. And according to some messages, they say, well, you'll receive food stamps in March. But to be truthfully honest with you, that is not promised. That is not promised because the variable in that is the continual government shutdown. The variable in that, just so y'all know. Okay. Right. The X factor in that is whether or not the government resumes operation, whether or not Trump wants to release any money, regardless of if the government is back in operation. And what about Congress? What are they going to do about all this? Basically nothing. All right. This is a wake-up call. I mean, we've been the boy that's been crying wolf for years. And a lot of times you issue warnings after warnings and people don't necessarily see the effect of the warnings or personally don't feel the effects. And that's the problem with our people.
Because they're individuals.
Right. Okay. If it don't affect them, oh well, come see, come saw. All right. It's not my problem, not my concern. Well, unfortunately, this is your concern, okay? Because this will vastly affect our community. Now, a lot of you that have moved away from the Black community, all right, maybe it won't affect you. But there's a flip side of that, because these communities where you think that you moved to get away from Black people, as you feel that are the problem, they're gonna turn against you because you are the problem to them. Okay, you don't fit in despite all your best intentions. Okay, despite all your cookouts and your pool parties or whatever you think you're doing to be neighborly. Okay, you are not of their nation, period. Okay, and they will tell you, they will show you, because the spirit is reverting back to its formal self. Okay, the spirit of animosity, the spirit of hatred, the spirit of rape, robbery, and murder, which America was founded on, will return back to this present generation of so-called white people. You just haven't seen the true white person yet.
You starting to see them now. They're
Right.
coming out. They just coming out their shell.
Right. I mean, on a note to that, the sister in Houston, Texas, saw the white man out of his shell. Okay. Apparently, it's some type of rage incident that she still doesn't realize what happened. This person pulled up beside her in a red pickup truck and shot at her and her daughters, killing her daughter and wounding her. But yet, despite of her account of the story, they somehow arrest 2 black people. I don't know how they did that.
They had a red pickup truck.
Did they? Because they didn't.
I'm just saying. They
Well,
may
you
have
would
a red
think
pickup truck.
they may have, but according to other people keeping up with the story, they had no pickup truck. They had a rental. Okay, a compact rental. All right. So, and the woman still sticks to her story that it was a white man that shot her. All right.
And they picking up black men.
They arrested black men. But you know, the story's quiet now. The story's quiet now. And you know, misdirection is being demonstrated with the whole resurgence of the R. Kelly's incident. You know.
They're trying to cover it up.
Well, they're trying to, you know, him as the new poster child.
Yeah.
You know.
Take all the heat off of them.
Right.
Everything.
Just like here in San Diego, you had a screwdriver attack where a teacher was stabbed, I believe, and the individual was chasing after.
Screenshot of that on your phone. Let me see it.
The person with the screwdriver was chasing other students, but yet, you know, he gets cornered and arrested. You know. Though they didn't say the person's nationality, we can assume that he was not a black person. Otherwise, he would have been shot to death. And that just goes without saying, okay? And then that's the double standard that we're bringing out here today.
I'm gonna read the little article.
Okay.
With the screwdriver incident. It's a message from Mount Carmel High School. This is in California, San Diego. All right. Dear Sun Devil staff and families. Mount Carmel is currently on lockdown. Mount Carmel is a predominantly white high school. Okay. I played them when I went to Escondido High School. Okay. Mount Carmel is over there in white neighborhoods.
Right. Rich white
neighborhoods. So there ain't no negritos, it ain't no mexicanos, and there's probably some over there, but we ain't doing that. They in check over there. Esau is not. All right, dear Sun Devil staff and families, Mount Carmel is currently on lockdown as officers deal with a student with a screwdriver. Students called police to campus and notified administrators after an incident during class. No one was injured, and the student has been isolated to the theater. Now, what does this sound like to you? Imagine a moreno, a negrito, a negro nigga with a screwdriver chasing people around. Will they isolate him to a theater, or will they put a bullet in him?
Oh, they would have buried him with bullets right there on the spot. Wouldn't be no questions asked. And to show you the public outrage, they would have demanded that he been shot on site.
Exactly.
No questions asked. And it is what it is. You can't sit here and deny that.
Watch this.
Okay.
I'm gonna start back a little.
Oh, you gotta go back.
Watch this. No one has been injured, and the student has been isolated to the theater as police talk to the student.
Oh, negotiating. Okay.
They're negotiating with the hostile.
They trying to de-escalate a hostile situation.
Are they showing compassion?
Of course. Compassion. And they realize that the students' parents got money. And they don't want them problems.
So they can talk to somebody with a weapon and not be afraid.
I guess they had that type of training.
Hold on.
They had that sensitivity training.
Normally, when somebody's reaching for a weapon, they're afraid, and that's why they shot, because they were scared.
Right. Well, they assume he was reaching for a weapon that he never seems to have on him.
Have the weapon, and they're not scared.
Hold on.
Or they assume that a cell phone's a weapon, or you know,
A doorknob.
a doorknob, or in the case of in Alabama, they thought his saxophone was a machine gun in the case. I can't make it up. You know what I'm saying? I just got to repeat as the story is written down. Okay, what you got? You got something else? Okay, you had something. I mean, if you, all right.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna finish this up. I want to see if y'all catch on to this right here. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
As police talk to the student, please do not come to the school to pick up your children. We will notify you when the lockdown has been lifted. Principal Magano, whatever the heck his name is.
Uh-huh.
They don't give no description of the child.
Of course not.
Who's chasing? If it was a black child
Oh,
or a
well,
Mexican child, they give you a description.
immediately.
They're trying to let you know. They're trying to cover up that their people are sociopaths and they're terrorists.
Right. Well, they won't use those words.
They won't use them yet.
They won't use those words. They won't use terrorists. Okay. They won't use psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They won't use violent. You know, he has mental issues. He has problems.
They didn't want to bring up the daycare record where he hit the little kid in the eye in his picture.
Oh, same kid?
Yeah, you know, if that was a black young king, his picture would have been his daycare record when he went to the bathroom.
Any incident of violence would have been
the
written.
fact that his parents live in 2 different homes and the dad lives in Southeast San Diego and the mom lives in Delmar Heights would have been brought up. All that would have been on flash.
Public record. So character assassination is to be expected when black people are involved in similar incidents.
And then they write this.
Okay.
The Poway Unified School District, PUSD, is an equal opportunity employer program and is committed to an active non-discrimination program. Does not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, ethnic group identification, ancestry, religion, gender identification, mental or physical disability. For more information, please contact. They don't feel like they should discriminate. They don't.
Oh, they don't. Well, they're trying to say that we don't do these things. Well, you know, we know you do.
That's what they say.
Okay, we know that you do because you can discriminate based on finance, and that's always been the so-called white man's trump card.
Mm-hmm.
If he can't, it's never racial. It's financial. You can't afford to be out here, so screw you.
Discrimination.
Financial discrimination. That's the game. That's how we work. And you want that segue into something else. There's a video going around. You need to look for it. There's a white lady in Congress that gets up and gives a speech, and basically she said for the time that she's been in Congress up until 1968, quote unquote, America has always had a policy to help white people afford houses, okay, and deliberately had a practice and policy to deny that same help towards black people, AKA, for those that can remember, it was called redline districting, okay, redlining, and basically redlining meant that depending on your zip code, they could segregate neighborhoods by demographics of, the race, and then that would go to all the lending institutions. Certain areas, no money would be made available, whether for businesses, whether for housing, whether for commercial investment, no money would be made available. But redlining would disappear when the majority of the demographics in that neighborhood was eradicated, meaning forced out. Then white people would come in, and now presto changeo, you kick over this rock, there's billions of dollars available for whatever you want to do. And today that's called gentrification. Okay,
Mhm.
they renamed it because everybody knew what redlining was, so they had to rename the game. But the
I
game
found
don't
it.
change.
I found the video and I'm posting it to my page on Facebook. So go to my Facebook page
Okay,
at Marakaya Howard Yasharala, and I just posted it.
Con.
Redlining, right?
Right, redlining. But I mean that's the old term. The new term in since roughly 2014 up to now, it's gentrification. And gentrification just basically means they jack up rent, force people out, bring people in that they want to be brought in, and then they rechange the values of the houses overnight. Okay, the same house that you couldn't get a mortgage for or get a loan against, now it's worth over $1 million. Okay, prime example, Brooklyn. Okay, the brownstones. There was a time that you could have got a brownstone for like I don't know, $50,000, $30,000 to $50,000. They were run down, but the structural integrity of the house was still there, meaning that it was stone, it was brick, you know, nice archways. I mean, nice workmanship. All they needed was some money put in, and they didn't have the money. The majority of black people didn't have the money. All right, so they basically had to sell the houses for little to no money. And then when white people came in and bought these brownstones, poured in the money, the bank started to lend the money. These same brownstones are worth over $1 million now. Same brownstones overnight. I mean, the old neighborhood that I used to run through in Brooklyn, I mean, I'm seeing white people walk around. I'm like, I was tripping. Literally, I'm like, what you doing around here? Then I realized, I looked at the Brownsville, I said, oh, that's why. Rename the game now, money. And that's Brooklyn. That's New York, period. If you ain't got the money, you can't stay in New York. That's the bottom line. Harlem is completely different. You got Pathmark, a major supermarket on 125th Street, okay, in Harlem, okay? Major stores in Harlem. Why? Because money moved in. And people that couldn't afford it, you gotta go. They don't care where you go, but you can't stay there. Okay. So, brother posted that video with the lady speaking in the Congress. There.
Yeah, I posted it on my page.
Okay.
Yahweh Yasharala. You can go there and look and see what we're talking about.
Okay. Give me Zanak. Give me Romans 13:11, and Shafia. Give me Jeremiah 30:7.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna post that same page we was talking about redlining to our page right now on our commentary. Yeah.
So, and where is this leading to? All this is leading to what? Jacob's trouble. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's here. You know, it ain't like it's a couple of months away or maybe a couple of years away. It is here right now in real time. Okay. When it's going to be here, when people can't get when people are not going to get their stamps in February, okay? That's when it's going to be here. The reality is going to sink in March if they decide to let you get some food stamps in March. That's when the reality will sink in.
But it's not even just food stamps, it's Section 8 payments, it's HUD housing payments. So you have some landlords that will wait for the government to open back up because they know they're going to get their money, but you have some landlords that can't.
Right, they financially can't do it. So
my grandma, her house in Long Island is Section 8. So luckily she has a house out here that's military. She knows she's going to get that money from here, but if she was going to get that money from here, there's no way she can allow her house in Long Island to go.
Right.
So that, I mean, you're going to run into problems when landlords start looking at the you need to pay and you need to get reimbursed from the county once they open back up. That's where the major problem is going to happen. People going to make food work. What you going to do when you ain't got nowhere to live?
Right. Well, nowhere to live. Okay. And, you know, this is what your boy Carson, the Secretary of HUD.
Hey, a lot of women out there, polygyny is going to be a good thing for them right now.
Well, it's going to be a matter of survival.
That's what it's going to be. Most High, he's going to force people to be together. He's going to force everybody to work together or survive.
Or really?
Don't survive.
You know, and the enemy is planning his strategy accordingly. Okay. Food. Where is he attacking second? Your housing. Okay. What is he attacking third? Your jobs. Okay. Your jobs. And who is he targeting? You so-called black people, Latino people. You gotta go. You gotta go. Bottom line. Okay. You are expendable. Okay. And it's gonna be and to all my Mexican Issachar brothers and sisters, you're in for a reality check. You've been the poster child of immigration when rightfully you should have not been. Okay. You was the go-to laborer when they didn't want to pay black men union scale wages. So you took the money and brought it back to Mexico. I ain't hating on the game, but now the person that's playing the game with you don't want you to play no more. So you gotta go.
They done with you.
They done with you. You're expendable. They don't need you. That's why he's screaming about the wall, which won't help nothing because they'll tunnel underneath the wall.
Yeah.
All right, but it's all show. It's to make a political statement. Okay. And if he gets the wall, he got a second term coming, and then he really gonna show out.
Yeah.
If the powers that be don't want him assassinated to really just bring the country into civil war.
But you really need to understand and pay attention to what's going on and understand this fact right here. Why team up and be cool with the people that don't want you here to turn around and be vindictive to the people that don't care if you're here or not? You know what I mean?
Right.
You're gonna really hate the people that are going through the same thing that you're going through, which are the blacks and the Native Indians.
But all that stems from Catholic Church, the whole the devil is black and that whole psychology. You know, we're hip to it. We understand it. And
the Catholic Church teach that the devil is black.
Yeah.
That one I ain't heard.
Yeah, that whole image, and then this is why Mexicans practice a color discriminatory practice. That's why most of the darker Mexicans live further south in Mexico. Okay, they don't want to bring that out, but we know the game, and then we also know the bylaws and laws of the whole gang culture. Okay, but that's a whole nother issue. But the point is, we are in Jacob's trouble. Okay. What's his first name? I know Carson. What's his first name?
Ben.
Oh, Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben Carson.
He did like the heart surgery.
Yeah. There's Siamese twins multiple times.
He was running for president against him.
Yeah.
Crazy thing.
I remember that.
Yeah, but he's the Secretary of HUD. No experience, but he's doing what he's told to do, which is what? Get you out of Section 8. That's his job. And he gonna do his job.
Got a black man to do it at that.
Of course.
They got a coon to do
He's
it.
a poster child. They put him there really because they're gonna do nothing. This man spent $1.2 million to renovate his office.
$1.2 million to renovate an office that he's not barely in.
And all that money comes out of the because he bought a table, like this extravagant dining room table that cost, I can't remember how much the table cost, but that's when it became an uproar. Because the other people that worked in the office that were part of like the Earthling and stuff like that brought it out in the press. It was out in the press like a year ago. It was like a big, huge thing. And that's when they found out how much money he spent to renovate his office. And that money was coming from subsidized housing. That's why the Section 8 programs and the HUD housing programs and the neighborhood house programs that have the preschools in them so people can go to work, that budget is coming short because he's renovating his office.
Of course. Anything to affect black people's household expenses.
And they always go after the coon and the dummy to talk for us.
Well, he's not talking for us, he's talking against us. You know, and he's doing his job. So did you read 13:11?
This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. Is that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
So it's high time to get out of this sleep, this comatose state of mind. Listen, it don't matter about the Super Bowl. You better be worrying about where you're gonna live at and how you're gonna put food on your table. okay? And how you gonna get to your job if you still have a job, because gas is going up, okay? Transportation, okay? Whether or not you gonna get your income tax check. You know, this whole government shutdown is on a whole nother level. It's affecting people's lives. It ain't 15 days like you don't even, blink of an eye. Nah, we're in what, the second month?
It's like, I want to say we're over 25 days. That's the longest government shutdown in history.
Well, listen, it's gonna be longer. He just getting started. And this is the warning. This is Jacob's trouble. Okay, go ahead. Did it's high time to wake out of sleep? Any more?
For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Yeah, our salvation is nearer than we believe, but it's still a ways off because there's more tribulation that has to come. Okay, it's got to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Okay, this is the tip of the iceberg. Okay, next month the domino effect will start happening. Okay, the job loss will start to affect people. Okay, it's going to affect people. 14,000 people. Ford is about to lay off thousands of people. Okay, Sears is shutting down if it hasn't already shut down. All right, how many other retail stores are going to be shut down? Okay, all that is a domino effect. Okay, you couple that with not having the ability to purchase food, not having the ability to live halfway comfortable. It's a recipe for disaster and riots, which they are prepared for. Okay, they need the perfect storm to bring in martial law. Okay. What we got?
I'll keep going.
Okay. What you got, Yeshapia?
Jeremiah 30:7.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
The time of Jacob's trouble. This is that time. Okay. This is the actual time of Jacob's trouble. We're not going back 10 years to how it used to be. We're not going back 5 years how it used to be. From this point forward, it will only get worse before it gets better. Okay? I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I like to say, well, there's a silver lining in the cloud, which there is, our salvation, but we're nowhere near that time yet. Okay, we have to go through some stuff. Okay, there has to be a serious and wake up of our people. Playtime is over. Turning up, pretty much over. The 88 dope money, that's pretty much gone. Okay, if you go on 90s dope money, that's pretty much on its way out too. All right, everything that you think you knew or was able to get over with, all that's being shut down. Okay, everything's really dependent on a government that's operating, okay, a system that's turning, mechanism that's in effect. That's how you're able to make your moves inside the system. But if the system shuts down, everything external to the system shuts down also. Man, what you got?
Keep going.
All right. So give me 2 Corinthians, the first chapter, verse 4. Deuteronomy 4, verse 30.
2 Corinthians 1 and 4.
Yeah.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 1 and verse 4. Who comforted us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble, by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted by of God.
All right, we are supposed to be comforted of the Most High through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, through the scriptures. But you can't have much comfort if you don't believe in the scriptures. Okay, you can't have much comfort if you're not abiding by the laws and commandments in the Bible. It ain't gonna work for you. Okay, because you're still trying to deal with a carnal situation with a carnal answer. This is a spiritual situation that requires a spiritual answer. That answer is being obedient. Their answers return to the raw basics, which is what? Repentance, obedience, Yahweh Shai, our nation, Yasha Allah, and the understanding and preparing for these last days. This is the start of these last days, okay? Do what you can, okay? Get with like-minded brothers and sisters and work together. Because you can only do so much as an individual. That's the point that you're gonna have to understand, okay? You can't do everything. Okay, you can't work, plow the field, plant the seeds, harvest, make the bread, teach the children, practice medicine, practice this, practice that. You can't do it all by yourself. You need like-minded people to help in a community, cooperative way. Okay, yes way. All right, what you got?
Deuteronomy 4:30.
All right, read.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 30. When thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to the Lord thy God, and shalt be obedient unto his voice.
That's the key, being obedient unto the voice of the Most High. You know, they're gonna be running to these churches, screaming and hollering at the top of their lungs, but they're not demonstrating obedience to the Most High. Okay, they're going right back to their pork chops, right back to their spare ribs, right back to whatever pagan holiday that's coming up, because they have not changed their ways. Be transformed by the renewing of your minds, that Romans 12:2 tells us. You gotta change. You can't be the old person. You can't be the old man, the old woman. You gotta change. That's the only way the Spirit of the Most High will work with you and keep you out of harm's way. Other than that, you in harm's way. And I don't know how that harm's gonna come.
Hold on, he said to keep you out of harm's way, but you're in harm's way.
Right, you in there. You in harm's
I
way.
gotta repeat that just in case they
Right.
don't catch it.
Right, come.
You're in harm's way. He's about to move you. All right.
Right.
You don't
I
let your
mean,
feet move. You better start following, man.
at any given moment, it can go to 0 to 100. 0 to 100. Real quick.
A woman in travail.
Real. It can get all the way bad, all the way left in a moment's notice. And why a lot of people get caught up or hurt? Because they wasn't expecting it to happen. The element of surprise is crazy. If you're not ready for that surprise, if you're not expecting anything to happen, then you really not ready for anything to happen. So when it happens, the first couple of seconds, you trying to comprehend what's going on. Then you got to make moves. Then you got to do this. It might be too late. You know, might be too late. You know, what else you got? That's it on that? Okay, so that was Deuteronomy 4, verse 30. In tribulation, okay? This is the tribulation that we're talking about, okay? This point forward is only going to get worse, okay? We don't need to be worrying about the next movie coming out. We don't need to be worrying about who's playing in the Super Bowl, who's playing in the championship. No, listen, the championship you better worry about is the championship of life. The championship of survival. Because in the Revelation 12, verse 12, it says, when Satan sees that he loses his kingdom, he shall come down unto thee having great wrath. Okay? You ain't seen no wrath yet, but you about to. You about to see some wrath. It ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be couch potato season. Okay, because the couch might have to be burned out for heat. All right. Come. Oh, hit the lights. Oh, you on it? Right. So again, you know, this is the warning that the Most High has given us. Okay, make ye ready, prepare thyself, make ye ready for the battle. Okay, what you got?
U.S. President Donald J. Orange Man Trump,
Okay.
the Orange Man, set out new plans on his Mexican Wall project to try to end a partial government shutdown lasting more than 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
All right. One of his compromises was on so-called dreamers who entered the U.S. illegally when young. He still wants 5.7 billion. But listen to that part. One of his compromises was on so-called dreamers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Entered the U.S. illegally when young.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you want. I'll let my wife go into that just a little bit, real quick, so y'all can understand.
He's setting Ishakar up. He's about to divide your house. So if you're a dreamer and you have a dreamer visa, the premises for the dreamer visa was that these kids came when they were young. They didn't have a choice. Their parents made a choice to enter the country illegally. It's the only home they've known. Ishakar has allowed America to not have them teach their kids their tradition. It's a lot of Mexican Americans my age that don't know Spanish because their parents didn't teach it to them. This is the only home they've known. But in order for you to be a dreamer, your parents are still usually illegal. In order for you to keep a dreamer visa, they need to know where you live. Right. A lot of these dreamers did not re-register. And now they're just out here and they're illegal. But they've been moving and grooving so long that it's hard to catch them. So he's gonna extend the dreamer program for 3 years. But in order for you to extend your dreamer visa and apply for citizenship, you have to give up your home address. We all know Ishakar always lives together. That is one thing they have kept. With their mom, their grandparents, they will build it be fourplexes of all of them. Once he gets those addresses, he's definitely sending ice for your grandmama and your mama.
Oh yeah, that goes without saying. They're out of here. You're out of here, buddy.
So he'll give in. He'll get his border wall. He'll get his second presidency, and he's still gonna round y'all up.
Right. And
and then they're gonna vote for him because he extended the dreamer visas.
But you lost your parents in the course of that, okay? And you're building a wall that is not going to accomplish anything.
Hold up. Watch this. U.S. President Donald J. Orange Man Trump has set out new plans on his Mexican wall project.
New plans, okay.
Mexican
wall project. It's a
Mexican wall project. It was from a border wall to a Mexican wall project.
Right. Yeah, from a border wall to a Mexican wall. How can you vote for a man like this? How can you pick up a pen to check the box? How can you lift an index finger to point the button? How can any Hispanic, Guatemalan, or Salvadorian pick up their fingers
to
vote for a man like this?
Any Issachar, any Mexican, how can you vote for Trump? But you got that mentality because you think you can pass for white. So now you can take on the same mentality as white people have, but white people will turn against you. That's the game. You should have learned from us.
They're rounding them up. They're tired of y'all. You're taking up all their jobs.
Right.
Because as the factories close and the plants close and they don't have, they're blue collar workers too.
Right. So and their union, you work for whatever because your money goes further in your country. I know the game. But they want their jobs back, so you have to go.
You gotta go.
You got the jobs because they didn't want to pay the blacks. Okay? You were very happy for that, but now the roosters have come home to roost.
Check this out.
Okay.
And this is why everything like that is happening to y'all right now. Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy.
A little louder, Brother Kusha.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17 and verse 15.
Read.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Don't you ever think about doing this? Read.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Where's Donald J. Trump's name in the scriptures?
He's not. I mean, if you're gonna have a president, let that president be of thy own people with understanding.
Hold on. Finish reading that. Start from the top again.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren.
From what?
One from among thy brethren.
He is not your brother. He is not the same nation as you. He's not one of your tribes. Read.
Shalt thou set king over thee.
Is he your brother? No, he's not. A brother would not put a Mexican wall on the borderline of your land that it belongs to. Read.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over
Thou
thee.
mayest what?
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
Please do not what?
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
You are setting a stranger over you. That's just what you're doing.
Which has no good intentions towards you.
Exactly.
All right. His base hates you. Okay. His constituency, the Christian right, all right, the Aryan Brotherhood, the skinheads, the Klan, they all hate you. The militias, all right, the neo-Nazis. I
be seeing Hispanic females with metal militia shirts on and don't know what the hell it means.
No, they don't, because they believe the hype. They got caught up in the dream.
They surviving. They following that constitution and that power. They following the laws of the white man. They following.
Right. Well, they believe the laws protect them. It don't, and it won't. Okay, it won't. And unfortunately, you're gonna have to learn the hard way. Can't nobody tell you that because you don't want to listen.
So the one part that the government has shut down is to shut the Mexicans down.
Shut them down.
Yes, white
shut them out.
Shut the Mexicans down. Everything that you have accomplished, he wants it gone. And he's going to get it. He's going to get you to vote for him because you're scared as hell.
And you think voting for him is going to alleviate your problem?
It is. He's going to stop messing with us, and he's going to just focus on the Morenos, on the
them.
Get rid of them. Yes, just give. We're with you. We'll help you get rid of them. Okay, and then just leave us alone.
I mean, that's the pitch. But hey,
goes without saying, huh?
Goes without saying.
It goes without saying.
But listen, we've been here too long. You might not like it, but we've been here too long. So what did that mean? Game recognized game. Okay, that's why he hates us, because he can't run no more game. We done seen it all. We help him write the game. Okay,
he took our book and tried to.
Took the book and tried to turn it. Well, he did turn it against us. He did turn it against us.
He took that screwdriver and he gutted us with it.
Right, and then he got our own people helping him. Okay, who you think turned against us? Our own people working for him.
And you've been doing it ever since the time of Redbone and Jeroboam.
So look, for my brothers in the tribe of Issachar, your own people are going to turn against you, thinking that the white man's going to look out for them. You're going to go through what black people are going through now. As much as you hate us, you about to feel it also. Hey, get on the real team. We ain't all like that. We just telling you, we just spitting the game to you.
We love you, man. Hey, this video is for the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, Central Americans, South Americans, Native Indians, Seminole Indian descent, all right?
Right. We recognize the 12 tribes. We embrace the 12 tribes, okay? We're not like other Israelite groups that have a problem with the tribe of Issachar. That ain't us, okay? You accept your nationality, you accept the laws and commandments in the Bible, period, okay? Despite all the other videos out there, okay, because I know there's plenty, we accept you, okay? All right, with that being said,
Daniel, want to read that real quick?
Okay, Daniel.
Explain why Bible Kushan.
Well, you can read it because I can't really see right now. Give me 1 Corinthians. Daniel, the 6th chapter, verse 10. 1 Corinthians, the 8th chapter. What was that verse? 15, something like that. 1 Corinthians 8, what you read earlier. 1 Corinthians, the 8th chapter, 15. It was the
Kings 8:30.
Well, turn towards Jerusalem, but read Daniel 6, verse 10.
There was a couple of them. Let me see. All right, the reason for this precept right here is to when the elder says face Mount Yerusham, all right, we're facing towards the east. We're praying towards the east. So a lot of people that don't understand how to pray or where to pray, we're going to give you an example, and then we're also going to do it with you. All right.
Right, because we normally say pray towards the east, which is towards our land, Jerusalem, okay, where the temple was built, but that might change depending on where you are located throughout the planet Earth. Okay, but you're praying towards Jerusalem. That's the point. That's the place you're praying towards. Now, normally most of us will be praying towards the east. Others might have to pray differently depending on what part of the world they're at this point in time. All right, go ahead.
This is 1 Kings 8 and 30. All right. Daniel's. Want to go Daniel's 10? Yeah, Daniel's here. I'm going to go to 6 and 10. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 6 and verse 10. All right. Now, when Daniel knew that the writings were signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open towards Jerusalem, he knelt upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime. So,
according to the scriptures, you should be praying 3 times a day. Okay, morning, noon, and evening. Our land, Jerusalem.
That is a reasonable service.
All right, reasonable offer. The scriptures also say pray without ceasing, but that's that's on a whole nother level there.
Well, praying, you can also be walking in your head and talking to the Most High as well.
But in real time, we know how difficult that is at times, but you should be able to pray more than once a day. Okay.
And 3 times a day is reasonable, so I suggest everybody to step up on their prayer game.
Right. We need to pray. Okay. We need,
especially right now.
Oh, right now more than ever. Before too, but now more than ever as we move forward. Okay, because the enemy is praying against us also. Okay, he praying towards Hashatan. Okay, he's sending up that Latin in these Catholic churches, praying towards our demise and destruction.
Mm-hmm. They don't want us to wake up.
All right, that's what they're praying towards, and all these seances and all these rituals and all these children being missing, organs being missing, all that satanic rituals to bring about demons through sorcery to perform their request, which is what? To destroy us and keep them in power. Okay, that's what we're up against. What does it say in Ephesians, the 6th chapter? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual principalities in higher places. Okay, this is a spiritual warfare which will become carnal in the days to come, but right now it's spiritual.
So that left side, spiritual principles, all right? Not the right side of it, but the left side of it. They're causing these bad spirits to come upon us and everywhere it is.
Right, to do what? Cause havoc, to cause strife, to cause sedition, to cause of evils, okay? Malice, jealousy, envy, everything. All the negative forces of the spirit, okay? Not the positive forces, not the fruit of the spirit when you read in Galatians, the 5th chapter. Okay, so that was 10. Okay, 1 Kings, 8th chapter.
You said 1 Kings?
Yeah,
I got it.
You said 1
I got it. This is the matter of fact, go ahead and read 1 Kings 8 and 30. Here we go.
First Kings, the 8th chapter.
Verse 30. Start at verse 30.
Does it?
Kind of read down from there
All right.
to 38. And this is a prayer he's going to be reading right here. You got it?
Come on. I got it.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. Oh, okay. All right. This is 1 Kings, the 8th chapter. All right. Starting from verse 30. Now, this is what Solomon sent up towards the Heavenly Father. All right. And hearken thou to the supplication of thy servant, to thy people Israel, when they shall pray towards this place. What place? Jerusalem. And hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and without hearest, forgive. If any man trespass against his neighbor, an oath be laid upon him to cause him to swear, and the oath come before thy altar in this house. Then hear thou in heaven, and do and judge thy servant, condemning the wicked to bring his way upon his head, and justifying the righteous to give him according to his righteousness. When verse 33, when thy people Israel be smitten down before thy enemies, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn again to thee, and pray and make supplication unto thee in this house. Then hearest thou in heaven, and forgive the sins of thy people Israel, and bring them again unto the land which thou givest unto their fathers. When heaven is shut up, and there is no rain, because they have sinned against thee, if they pray towards this place, and confess thy name, and turn from their sins, when thou afflictest them, then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sins of thy servant, and of thy people Israel, that thou teach them the good way wherein they should walk, and give rain upon thy land, which thou hast given to thy people for an inheritance. So wherever we are scattered, okay, throughout our captivities, if we pray towards this place, which is Jerusalem, this is why we pray towards the east, okay, then the Most High will hear our prayers and forgive us of our sins. Because why? We asked for forgiveness. We repented of our sins, Father. This is what we must do as a nation. Not as individual, but as a collective body of people, as our nation, which we are called by Yasha Allah, meaning he's a prince of power. Okay, so that's a good scripture. Daniel 6 verse 10, 1 Corinthians the 8th chapter, starting from the 15th verse, but we cut it short, read from verse 30 to verse 33. The reasons why we pray towards Jerusalem. Okay, so the rants will get more intense. Oh, one more thing. So you can understand this is the Most High's doing. Do you realize there is over, one report said 244 trillion. I saw another report that said $247 trillion. Okay, that's a lot of zeros, of global debt worldwide. Okay, between 244 to 247 trillion, okay? That's more than $1 billion, okay? Debt. So who pays for this? How do you get out of debt like that? Okay, this is the whole world economy being collapsed by the powers that be, because they want to reset. They want to bring in the gold standard, but that ain't happening, okay? Because you got rioting as we speak in France, rioting as we speak in Germany, rioting as we speak beginning to happen in Greece, because the people are sick and tired of being gouged by the government. They can't afford it, okay? The only reason why that hasn't happened in America because y'all sleep, okay? You got a bud to drink, you got a joint to smoke, you got a line to sniff, you got a molly to pop, and you got a game to watch, okay? You caught up, okay? You preoccupied, you're being entertained. Okay, your mind is being misdirected other than what it should be directed upon. But don't worry, hunger has a way of redirecting your mind and your protocol. You get your priorities straight when you're hungry enough. Believe that. Or when you ain't got a place, to lay your head at, and it's cold outside and it's raining. Okay, what you got?
For you to go with you.
Okay.
I was telling the crowd that this is the Most High doing. Read that, Bible.
Amos chapter 3 verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?
This is a trumpet. This is the elder and I warning you.
Right. This is us on the rooftops crying aloud, sparing up. Well, that's Isaiah 58:1. 58:1. Cry not, spare not. Lift up thy voice as a trumpet. Show thy people their transgressions, and our people their ways. Go ahead.
Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it?
Can there be any evil on the planet Earth and the Lord has not done it? That goes to Isaiah the 45th chapter. Good and evil comes from the Most High. On the left-hand side of the throne, he got Satan and his devils and minions doing his bidding on the left-hand side of evil. And then on the right-hand side of the throne, you have Yahweh Shai Mashiach and the holy angels doing the Most High's bidding in righteousness. Good and evil. Okay, both belong to the Most High. To the issuers of life and death come from the Most High. Okay, so can there be evil in the city and the Lord has not done it? No, there cannot be. All right. And I know a lot of Christians can't understand that, but that goes in a whole other spectrum as far as 180 degrees of positive knowledge, 100 degrees of negative knowledge. Connect all 6 points, forms a complete circle, which is completion, and is also the symbol of a man. All right. So, any more to that? No? Okay, come. So, This is the evil that's being done. This is Jacob's trouble. This is the warnings and the stories. Okay, there'll be plenty more stories to cover next week. All right, lot is happening around us. We ain't covered it. You know, it's hard to cover. You know, you would have to devote a whole show just to cover all the instances that are happening. Oh, another quick sidebar. Jason A. Does pretty good videos on YouTube as far as covering these. You know, Christians are being slaughtered in the streets over in a lot of Arab countries now. Okay, they're not protected anymore. All right, that same slaughter is going to happen here in the streets of America.
And Muslims too.
Huh?
Muslims too.
Muslims are being slaughtered too? Well, they're fighting back.
And thrown into camps and all that.
Oh, well, that's in China. Good point. That was the retraining camps. Okay, so they're rounding up all Chinese Muslims and bringing these retraining camps and doing a number of them, basically torturing them unto death. Okay, and they're killing a lot of Coptic Christians over in certain Arab countries. Okay, so hey, you know, watch as well as pray. Make you ready for the battle. Sell thy garment and get yourself a sword. Okay, be proficient with your sword and have the necessary tools necessary to keep your sword operating properly.
And today we don't have a sword, it's called a gun.
Okay, yeah, but some of us do have swords too. Swords and guns.
But you don't want to bring a sword to a gunfight, though.
No, unless it's close enough, but nah. So, with that being said, okay, we're going to say a Mahdium upon Jerusalem. Let us stand and face Jerusalem. Okay. Go ahead. Yahushua's prayer, Matthew 6, 9-13.
Avanau, Shabbat Shema, Kadash, Haya, Shimka, Yahweh, Lakaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Aratazak, Kahaya, Bashamayim, Within the Law, Lacham, Koyawom, Wasalakina, Kabawathina, Kasalakina, Wala'a, Dabiyanau, Benasai one, Abal, Haushai now, Manrat, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Ba'ala, Bataparat, Lawalonium, Aman, Hashem, Yahusha, Mashiach, Aman. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread. Forgive us, our debts, as we forgive, our debtors. And lead us not, into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Bashem. Yahusha. Mashiach.
Amen. Okay.
Hallelujah.
All right. Psalms 84, verse 4, Psalms 144, verse 15, Psalms 145, and Psalms 115, verse 18. I will read. All right. Bless that dwell in thy house. They will still be praising thee, Selah. Happy is that peoples in such a case. Yea, happy is that people whose Alahaya is Yahweh. I will have told thee my Alahaya, O King. I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is Yahweh, greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation will praise thy works to another, and I shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty and of thy wondrous works. And men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts, and I will declare thy greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger and of great mercy. Yahweh is good to all, and his tender mercy over all his works. And thy works shall praise thee, O Yahweh, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts, and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom endureth throughout all generations, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations. Yahweh raises up all those that be bowed down. Bow down. Proselyte. On their knees. Yo. Okay. Yahweh upholdeth all that fall, raises up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, that thou givest their meat in due season. Thou openest thy hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. Yahweh is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. Yahweh is nigh unto all of them who call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. Desire them that fear him, he also will hear their cry and will save them. Yahweh preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. My mouth shall speak the praise of Yahweh, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. But we will bless Yahweh from this time forth and for even evermore. Hallelujah.
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 Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, the first three prayers on Amada. Okay. Abawath.
Abawath.
Barakatan.
Barakatan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Allahayanawa.
Allahayanawa.
Allahaya.
Allahaya.
Abawolaflanawa.
Allahaya.
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 Abaraham.
Abaraham.
Allahaya.
Allahaya.
Yatazakwa.
Yatazakwa.
Or Allah.
Allah.
Haya.
Haya.
Yakwa.
Yakwa.
Allah.
Allah.
Shaya.
Shaya.
Allah.
Allah.
Ayawan.
Ayawan.
Gamal.
Gamal.
Kasadayam.
Sadayam.
Barakatan.
Barakatan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Magan.
Magan.
Abaraham.
Abaraham.
Gabawarwa.
Gabawarwa.
Atan Yahweh.
Atan Yahweh.
Gabor.
Gabor.
La'awalam.
La'awalam.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Makaya.
Makaya.
Matayam.
Matayam.
Mamaya.
Mamaya.
Dawama.
Dawama.
Laka.
Laka.
Malak.
Malak.
Hi Awalam.
Awalam.
Mamaya.
Mamaya.
Mayam.
Mayam.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Barakatan.
Barakatan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Makaya.
Makaya.
Matayam.
Matayam.
Quadawarhash.
Quadawarhash.
Shem Yahweh.
Shem Yahweh.
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 Atan.
Atan.
Quadayash.
Quadayash.
Washamka.
Washamka.
Quadawash.
Quadawash.
Quadawashim.
Quadawashim.
Bakal.
Bakal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Allah.
Allah.
Wakal.
Wakal.
Salah.
Salah.
Barakatan.
Barakatan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ha'ah.
Aha.
La.
La.
Haquadawash.
Quadawash.
Blessed are you.
Blessed are you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The power of our Father.
Father.
The power of Abraham. The power of Isaac. The power of Yahweh.
Power of Yahweh.
Almighty power.
Almighty power.
Most high power.
Most high power.
Who bestows mercy.
Who bestows mercy.
Blessed are you.
Blessed are you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shield of Abraham.
Shield of Abraham.
You are mighty Yahweh.
You are mighty Yahweh.
Forever.
Forever.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Who revives the dead.
Who revives the dead.
Who's comparable to you.
Who is comparable to you.
King of eternity.
King of
Who
eternity.
caused death
Who caused death
and gives life.
and gives life.
Blessed are you.
Blessed are you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Who gives life
Who gives life
to the dead.
to the dead.
You are holy
You
Yahweh.
are holy Yahweh.
And your name is
And
holy.
your name is holy.
And the Holy
And
One.
the Holy One
Every day.
every day.
Praise you.
Praise you
Forever.
forever.
Blessed are you.
Blessed are you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The power who is holy.
The power who is holy.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Amen.
Okay, Amani, stand. Okay, the anointing prayers. Okay. Okay. Set the order.
1, 2, 3. Where you going, man? Salakia. Close the door.
And anointing prayer, number 6, 24 to 26. Okay, I'll get to a part and say Yahweh Barak and Parshmar Kazak. That's at that point you say your name. I will repeat that 3 times, so you say your name 3 times. Okay, here we go. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Call. Yasha'al Yahweh.
Yasha'al Yahweh.
Panyawa.
Panyawa.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'al Yahweh.
Yasha'al Yahweh.
Panyawa.
Panyawa.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Walashamlaka.
Washumlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapport.
Rapport.
Shamar.
Shamar.
Kazak.
Kazak.
Yashia.
Hashab Yugabar.
Zanakaria.
Marakat.
Nathaniel Allen. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapport.
Rapport.
Shamar.
Shamar.
Kazak.
Kazak.
Yashia.
Hashab Yugabar.
Zanakaria.
Marakat.
Nathaniel Allen. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapport.
Rapport.
Shamar.
Shamar.
Kazak.
Kazak.
Yashia.
Hashab Yugabar.
Zanakaria.
Marakat.
Nathaniel Allen. Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Amashiach.
Mashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Yahweh bless thee.
Yahweh bless thee.
And keep thee.
And keep thee.
Aman.
Aman.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Make his face.
Make his face.
Shine upon thee.
Shine upon thee.
And be gracious.
And be gracious
Unto thee.
unto thee.
Aman.
Aman.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Lift up his countenance.
Lift up his countenance
Upon thee.
upon thee.
And give thee
And
peace.
give thee peace.
Aman.
Aman.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Amashiach.
Mashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, the last 3 prayers are the Amada. Okay. Abba Wada.
Abu Wada.
Ratazah.
Ratazah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Allahayanawa.
Allahayanawa.
Ba'anka.
Ba'anka.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Wapalnawa.
Wapanawa.
Ayel.
Ayel.
Wahabshab.
Wahabshab.
Ath.
Ath.
Abba Wada.
Abu Wada.
Bayafka.
Bayafka.
Wakwadashka.
Wakwadashka.
Wahabshab.
Wahabshab.
Banya.
Banya.
Tazakwa.
Tazakwa.
Bun.
Bun.
Aharon.
Aharon.
Barakatan.
Barakatan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Habshab.
Habshab.
Ha'aywa Wada.
Abu Wada.
Bayafka.
Bayafka.
Vayahanyaka.
Yahanyaka.
Hawawada.
Hawawada.
Wawadayam.
Wawadayam.
Anaknawa.
Anaknawa.
Baka.
Baka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Allahayanawa.
Allahayanawa.
Ba'aywalam.
Ba'aywalam.
Magan.
Magan.
Yashainawa.
Shaynawa.
Shayam.
Shayam.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shayam.
Shayam.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Tawaba.
Tawaba.
Wabarakakan.
Wabarakakan.
Kahan.
Kahan.
Wakasad.
Wakasad.
Wabarakakayam.
Wabarakayam.
Wa'aywalnawa. Wa'ayl.
Wa'ayl.
Call. Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Ainka.
Ainka.
Be favorable.
Be favorable.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
To your people.
To your people.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
To our prayer.
To our prayer.
Restore.
Restore.
The service.
The service.
Of your holy house.
Of your holy house.
And restore.
And restore.
The son.
The son.
Of Tazakwa.
Tazakwa.
Zada.
Zada.
Son of Aaron.
Son of Aaron.
Blessed are you.
Blessed are you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
That restores.
That restores.
The service.
The service.
Of your house.
Of your house.
To your priest.
To your priest.
We thank you.
We thank you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Our power.
Our power.
Forever.
Forever.
Shield of our
Shield of
salvation.
our salvation.
Grant peace.
Grant peace.
Goodness.
Goodness.
And blessing.
And blessing.
Grace and kindness.
Grace and kindness.
And compassion.
And compassion.
Upon us.
Upon us.
And upon all.
And upon all.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Your people.
Your people.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, Psalms.
Hallelujah.
Okay, Psalms 121, a song of degrees. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ayel.
Ayel.
Haharyam.
Haharyam.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Isaiah. Ma'ayin.
Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Shamayam.
Shamayam.
Waratazah.
Waratazah.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yatan.
Yatan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Ragalka.
Ragalka.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Hana.
Hana.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yanawan.
Yanawan.
Wa.
Wa.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yanashan.
Yashan.
Shawamar.
Shawamar.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Ayel.
Ayel.
Yun.
Yun.
Yum.
Yum.
Yun.
Yun.
Ka.
Ka.
Yawamam.
Yawamam.
Hashemah.
Hashemah.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yarakaka.
Yarakaka.
Wa Yarakaka.
Yarakaka.
Ba.
Ba.
La Yalah.
La Yalah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Makal.
Makal.
Bride.
Bride.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Af.
Af.
Napashka.
Napashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Yatazalka.
Yatazalka.
Wabarak. Ma'aitan,
Ma'aitan,
Wa'ayil,
Wa'ayil,
Iwulam,
Iwulam,
Basham,
Basham,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, Psalms
Hallelujah.
121, a song of degrees. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yahshua shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Basham,
Basham,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
All right, Psalms 92, a song for the Shabbat day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh and to sing praise unto the name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, upon a psaltery, upon the harp with a song. For lo, Yahweh has made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. Yahweh, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, is that they shall be destroyed forever. But lo, Yahweh art most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered, but my horn shall thou exalt like a horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire on my enemies, and my ear shall hear my desire, the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the courts of Elohim. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing to show that Yahweh is upright. He is my rock. What do you say? Yeah, you say thumb.
Thumb.
Do it again.
Yahbashim Yashabakatam.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua.
All right, so you'll pick up in Exodus, the 13th chapter. You're gonna read from verse 17. How many verses are left in the chapter? Give me an understanding.
22.
All right, that ain't nothing. So you're gonna read a little bit in chapter 14 too. Okay, we're reading about the pillars of the cloud and fire. Fire. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
Exodus 13.
Yeah, Exodus 13. He's gonna start from verse 17. Loud and clear. Okay.
Exodus 13, verse 17. And it came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near by God's side, said, let's peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. Verse 18.
Okay, verse 18. Go ahead.
But God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. Verse 19.
Okay.
And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. Verse 20.
Okay, go ahead.
Took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham in the wilderness. Verse 21.
Okay.
And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud.
He went what? Say that again. Start at 21.
And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar
of a cloud.
That's what
So
he
that
said.
means
He wants you to repeat it.
I wanted you to repeat it. This is how, when you become a reader, somebody's going to ask you to repeat it again. Not to say you didn't read it right, but we are edifying the audience.
The viewing audience
Yeah. So
who can't see you, but they can hear you.
so he went. The Lord went before them. What was his Lord? This was Yahweh Shai. He had went before them in a pillar of a cloud, a nimbus.
Yeah.
That's what you would call a nimbus, and that's what the so-called white man would call a alien spacecraft. You know, they gotta make everything sound bad.
Okay, so he went. Read that again.
And the Lord went before them by the day in the pillar of the cloud, to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to guide them light,
To give them.
light, to go by day and night.
Good. All right, Ma'atawab, good reading. Okay, so we see the Most High sent Yahushua to lead the children of Israel in their journey through the wilderness. Okay, by day he sent them. He led them by a pillar of a cloud that they could see because it was daylight. But at night, that same pillar of a cloud was set on fire. All right. All right, so this is how the Most High led them through Yahushua through the wilderness. Okay, so let's close out this chapter.
There's one more verse.
Oh, I thought you read it. Alrighty, one more verse.
We'll
What
start
verse?
from 21 and then read to 22.
Okay. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. Verse 22. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night, from before the people.
Con. So this is how he led the children of Israel. Ma'atawab. Okay, so let's close out. You know how to close out? All right, you learn. All right, so everybody stand. Well, all males stand. Okay. What was it? Okay, so this is what you'll say. You say, I'm saying it for you, you'll say it, and I'll say it after you, okay? So you say, call Asherah.
Call Asherah.
No, you gotta say it loud.
Call Asherah.
Okay.
Asherah.
All right, let's try it again. All right, call Asherah.
Call Asherah.
No,
He's saying it first.
okay.
Call Asherah.
Call Asherah. I say it, then you say it. Call Asherah.
Call Asherah.
Then we say it right. Call Asherah.
Asherah.
The Bar Yahweh.
The Bar Yahweh.
Na'isha.
Na'isha.
What Na Shemai.
Well, not Shemai.
All that Yahweh said.
All
that
that
Yahweh
I said,
what we do.
here.
What we
We doing here. Come on. I see you know
what
that
we doing
one.
here?
Okay. Come. Ma'atawab. Okay. What's your Hebrew name?
Yashia.
Yashiel. Ma'atawab. Okay. Coming up. Learning the way. Okay. Next reader. That'll be you.
Khan.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hashab Yogabar, Ban Merle, Ban Yahuda, Ban Yasharala.
Madiam. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahshai Brakatham.
Yahweh Shem Yahshai Barakatah. Okay, you'll be reading in Exodus the 14th chapter.
Khan.
Okay, so we're reading about the crossing of the Red Sea. How many verses in that?
31.
31.
I said 14.
Yeah, Exodus 14. Okay,
That nimbus was over them though, huh?
Oh, that
Hey, you see where they get the you know, not to get off topic, but Dragon Ball Z, that nimbus.
Khan.
And you know how Goku was, pale skin instead of a Negro because they had competition about that.
Mm-hmm.
All that cartoon came from this. And a big monkey. That's why they didn't want the competition because he had the tail and everything else.
well, I mean, he was the last of the, what was it?
Saying,
Yeah, but he
he wasn't the last of it, but he was made to. Well, he thought that he was the last
because his planet was destroyed, right?
Wasn't nobody
Left.
over there like him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Kind.
Until he met Vegeta and all them.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna do it.
All right,
I guess you watched Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Not all like that. Not like people I know.
I watched it all the time.
Right. I mean,
I used to
our
watch
sons, they were Dragon Ball Z fanatics. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 14, and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pahaharat. Pahaharat, between Migdol and the sea. before shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness has shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them. And I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled. And the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this? Let Israel go from serving us. And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over every one of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with an high hand. But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Pahaharat, before Baalzephon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt?
So Israel, despite all the miracles that had happened up to this point, they still had doubt, and a lot of them still didn't want to leave Egypt, but left anyhow. Okay, so they didn't really have sincerity of heart or intention to want to leave Egypt. Well, that same mentality is here in America, believe it or not. It's not hard. You know, our people don't want America to end. Our people don't think America can end. But we're here to tell you, according to the scriptures, according to the Bible, America will end. America will be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction, as prophesied by not our word. This ain't our words. This predates any of us in this room right now. But these are the words of the Most High. But with that being said, I'm going to keep it honest with you. A lot of our people are going to have a hard time. Because what they're going to have a hard time doing, the money is going to not have any value. That's
surviving.
They're going to have a hard time surviving. The first hurdle they're going to have to get over is that the almighty dollar is not mighty anymore. It won't have any value. What's going to have value is the actual raw materials that you break your necks to get money to go buy. As soon as you get the money, you go out and spend it because you need the raw materials that it can buy, whether it be food, bread, milk, juice, meat, okay, gas for your car. Now, if you could get all these resources without the need of money, would you have a need for money? No, you would not, because money would be obsolete. It would serve no purpose. That's the point we're trying to get you to see. And this is the hurdle that a lot of our people are going to have a hard time getting over. But don't worry, the white man going to help you get over it. He going to cut you off. He going to cut you off from anything that you think is valuable. Okay? It is what it is. Go ahead.
Verse 12. It's not this word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone that we may serve the Egyptians. For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. So
once again, Doubting Thomases, saying that it'd been better for us to be in captivity, trying to make brick without no straw, than to have a chance at freedom. Freedom isn't free. It comes with a price. And the price you got to be willing to pay for it is with your life. Okay? That's what freedom costs. And then once you get free, you got to do everything in your power to maintain your freedom. That means fight for it when somebody wants to take your freedom. That means if you don't plant the crops, food. If you don't mill the wheat, you ain't gonna have no flour to make bread. If you don't slaughter the animals, you ain't gonna have no meat to eat, no leather to wear, no shoes to wear. Okay? If you don't make the bricks, you ain't gonna have no bricks to build no houses with. So you must apply the raw skills within your hands to make the finished product from the raw materials that the Most High blesses you with through the land. Okay? That's how we receive our blessings, through the land and through the husbandry, which is the animals. All right, what verse you in?
Verse 13.
Go ahead.
And Moses said unto the people, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord.
So Masha tell him, watch. Watch me now. All right, go ahead. Watch the Lord. Don't watch me, but watch what the Lord does. And that's what you so-called black people, Latino people, you're going to have to bear witness to that. Go ahead.
Show you today, for the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight you, Salah, the Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. But lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thine hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea.
So from the sea floor, which should be muddy, shouldn't be solid enough to walk across, let alone carts and animals get across it, because they weigh more than humans. But yet you're gonna walk across dry land. To the left and to the right of you is gonna be the sea. And you will see the fishes on both opposite sides of the sea, but the walls will not come in on you. That's a miracle from the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them, and I will get me honor upon Pharaoh.
Right. He gonna harden Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh gonna say, well, they can do it, we can do it. No, you can't. But they gonna follow, and the Most High gonna show and prove. Go ahead.
And upon all his hosts, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face, and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel.
So this pillar of cloud separated the two camps, okay, the two armies, well, the two peoples, the Egyptian army and the children of Israel. This is what this pillar of cloud did, okay? So it sat behind them, okay? Came from the heaven above them and sat between them on the land, okay? So the Egyptians could not go no further than the cloud. All right, go ahead.
And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided.
So once again, from the east wind, my brother, the Most High divided the sea, the Red Sea. All right, go ahead.
Verse 22. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen.
So his whole army, the cavalry, the chariots, the horses, the foot soldiers, they all went in after the children of Israel through the parting of the Red Sea. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 24. And it came to pass that in the morning watch the Lord look unto the host of Egyptians through the pillar of fire of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily. So that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel. For the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians.
Yeah, once they realized the Most High took away the wheels from their chariots and they had to drag the chariots across the bottom of the Red Sea, a lot of the Pharaoh's armies like say, hey, it's over our heads. We need to retreat. But go ahead.
Verse 26. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength, Salah, to his strength, when the morning appeared. And the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea.
So whatever Egyptians couldn't make it back to the other side, they got drowned. And this is the chariots and the swords and the shields and bucklers that they found in the bottom of the Red Sea. That sits over in the Egyptian museum to this day. So the passage of what we read in Exodus, the 14th chapter, has been verified through archaeology and biblical history. Okay, they actually found the physical chariots of Pharaoh on the bottom of the Red Sea. Okay, go ahead, where you at?
Verse 28. And the waters returned and covered the chariots, and the horsemen, and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land, in the midst of the sea. And the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand, and on their left. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel that great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord, and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. That's the end of the chapter.
Okay, so the crossing of the Red Sea by Moshe and the children of Israel, the pursuit of the Israelites by Pharaoh's chariots and his army, and the closing of the Red Sea upon Pharaoh's chariots and his army. Okay. So let's stand, close out Exodus, what'd you read?
I was
14th chapter.
Israel always required the sign, though.
Yeah.
Israel always required the sign, man. That lack of faith. They only believe what they can see. You know?
Well, they saw that.
Yeah, they saw that.
All right. Go ahead.
Call Shara, the Bar Yahweh, Nai Shah, Wanah Shemai. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here?
Okay, next reader.
Zinakaria, Ban Marakat, Ban Yehuda, Ban Yasharal,
Madiam. Barak.
Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shabrakatam.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabrakatah.
Okay, you're in Exodus, the 15th chapter. I'll break that down.
Go ahead, start reading when you get it.
This is Exodus chapter 15, verse 1. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea.
So, hey, Moses is rejoicing. He is happy and he is about to sing. We don't know if the man can really sing, but he's about to sing. And I was just thinking about that in verse 14 at the end of it. You know what I'd be doing right about then and there if I saw that? I'd be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's singing and Moses sang a song to him. Read.
The Lord is my strength in song, and he became my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him in an habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him.
He said, the Lord is my strength and my song. A song is to give you inspiration of feeling and everything else. Read.
Come. The Lord is a man of war.
The what?
The Lord is a man of war.
Hugs and kisses. So the Lord is a man of war. Read.
Pharaoh's chariots and his host hath he cast into the sea, and chosen.
Start over. Verse 4.
Oh, come. Pharaoh's chariots and his host hath he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned into the Red Sea.
His chosen captains are also drowned in the Red Sea. Read.
The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone.
Read.
Thy right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power.
Thy what?
Thy right hand, O Lord, became glorious in power.
It's become glorious in power. Thy right hand. Read.
Thy right hand, O Lord, has dashed in pieces the enemy.
Who's his right hand? God. Read.
And in the greatness of thine excellency.
And they say Yahweh Shai is not in the Old Testament. God. Keep reading.
And in the greatness of thine excellency, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee. Thou sentest forth thy wrath, which consumed them as stubble. And with the blast of the nostrils, the waters were gathered
and with
together.
The blast of thy nostrils,
Salat, the waters were gathered together. The flood stood upright in the heat, and the depths of congealed in the heart of the sea.
Like he said, this was proven with archaeology, with proof of archaeology. This was proof. All right, things that were dug up from the bottom of the Red Sea, chariots, swords, bones and everything, shields and everything was dug up from the bottom of the Red Sea. This is archaeological proof. Read.
The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, mine hand shall destroy them.
The enemy said that. The enemy has always said he will still pursue us. This is a third degree. You got to read these in third degree. Today's Pharaoh is who? Donald J. Orange Man Trump. All right. Read.
Thou didst blow with thy wind. The sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like unto thee, O Lord, amongst the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises.
Read.
It praises wonders. Thou stretchest out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou redeemed. Thou hast guided them into the strength unto thy holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Palestine. Then the dukes of Edom.
Then the what?
Then the dukes of Edom.
Say it again.
Then the dukes of Edom.
That's Alexander the Greek, Philip the Macedonian, Edom, the dukes. Read.
Shall be amazed. And mighty men of Moab.
The mighty who?
The mighty men of Moab.
The children of Lot, Moab and Ammon. You got the Japanese and the Chinese. Read. Start from 15, the top.
Then the dukes of Edom shall be men of Moab trembling, shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away.
All the inhabitants of Canaan, those are your South Africans and East Africans. Read.
Fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness of thine arm. They shall be as a stone.
From the greatness of thy army.
Of thine army. And they shall be as still as stone till thy people pass over, O Lord. Till the people pass over which thou hast pursued.
So you got to understand those surrounding nations that are surrounding Egypt, they saw this. They saw this. They saw the Red Sea raise up. They saw the humongous crowd of Israel go right through that Red Sea. So he's saying that then the dukes of Edom and the mighty men of Moab trembling shall take hold upon them. And the inhabitants of Canaan, all those surrounding people that saw that happen, they were amazed. Was like, what in the entire hush puppies is going on? They're looking at this. So that's what's going to happen today. When all this stuff happens, go down, and the Most High uses Jacob as his mighty axe, they're going to be amazed. All this stuff that's about to happen, read.
Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made to dwell in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. The Lord shall reign forever and ever. For the horse of Pharaoh went with his chariots, and with his horse men into the sea. And the Lord brought again the waters of the sea upon them, but the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst
So
of the
he's talking
sea.
about how he's excited. This is Moses talking. He's excited and he's talking about the people that saw this happen. He's thinking in his head, man, hey, Moab and them, they gonna be amazed at this. He's talking about the dukes of Edom. They gonna be amazed. They're amazed at this because they know about all the surrounding kingdoms that are around him. Moses right now, he is singing praises to the Most High. He is excited about what happened. If you see the sea raised like this, how you gonna feel? I'm gonna be excited. The Most High just killed them after Pharaoh and them come rushing at him like that, and Moses put out his hand in the sea, just like that. Everybody saw that. Moses is thinking of everybody that just seen this happening and how they're gonna be amazed. That scared the hell out of everybody. That amazement right there is fear. That's fear. They're going to fear the children of Israel. All that fear that they used to have for us is going to come back. They're going to be scared as hell of us again. We're going to get all that back. We're not going to be small amongst the heathen no more. All right, read.
And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her, and timbrels and with dances.
With timbrel and with dances. All right, these are certain like instruments they be clinking, those trembles. They went with trembles and dances. You know, the women just went out there, they was dancing. They wasn't twerking, they wasn't doing none of that, they was dancing, all right? Just dancing with each other and everything else, all right? Read.
And Miriam answered them, Sing ye to the Lord, for ye have triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider have he thrown into the sea. So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. And the people murmured against Moses, saying, What shall we drink?
Oh, here we go.
And he cried unto the Lord.
Hold on. Here we go again. This is Israel, man. Israel is so, what would you call that? You just seen a miracle.
Pessimistic.
I was thinking of another one. Pessimistic is a good one. But after you just seen a miracle, stubborn.
Yeah, stubborn.
They started to murmur after the water was bitter and everything. Hold on. Most High just did that. We're gonna go patiently and humbly to Moses and be like, hey, brother Moses, the water's over here. Is there the water? Talk to the Most High for us, please, and ask him to straighten it up for us. That's it. You know what I mean? And the water, with the water pray. They could have prayed to the Most High. After seeing all that, I'm praying. I'm getting on my knees towards Jerusalem and I'm praying. Hey, Abba, the water is very bitter. Baba Kusha, clean this up for me. Baba Kusha. The water, hey, thank you for what you just did over there. I'm going to tell every child of mine what happened after that. Watch the Most High just clear it up. That's it. He knows it's bitter. All you got to do is turn towards him. All this stuff that is going on, man, just pray. That's why, through the spirit, that precept we brought up, when Solomon is praying 3 times a day and everything, just go ahead and do it. But they're real stubborn, man. Real stubborn. Go ahead.
And he cried unto the Lord, and the Lord shewed him a tree, which when he had cast it into the waters were made sweet. And he made a statue of an ordinance, and said, If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and will do that which in right is his sight.
Which is right in his sight. He said, and if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, that is continually listen to him, right? Continually listen to the voice of the Lord thy God. What is the voice? Right here, these scriptures. This is the voice. And this is the voice. He always spoke by the mouth of his prophets, according to Luke 1 and 67.
Yeah.
Luke 1 and 67, I believe, something like that. I'll find it later. But he's always spoken by the mouth of his prophets, which are the men you see before you. We're speaking all the time on these highways and byways, and we're telling you guys to continually listen, continually hearken, continually come out and listen to us. Watch these videos. We are feeding you spiritual bread. All right, read.
And will give ear to his commandments and keep all his statutes. I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians.
Upon the Egyptians. All those things that happened to the Egyptians, all right? He said, if you listen, he's not going to bring those diseases upon you because it's going to happen to our people. They're going to be getting big boils on their skin. You're going to see a lot of the plagues from Egypt on our people. So everything that we're reading now, pay attention because you're going to start seeing them on the people and you're going to recognize it and you're going to either pray for them, tell them what's going on, or just, you got to learn you got to use wisdom when you talk to people to get them to understand these things. Read.
And they came into Elim, where 12 wells of water and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the waters.
There you go. Most High already knew. He already knew. Always stay humble. Always have humility, and always go to the Most High as a child. All right. Go to him for direction. Go to him for nourishment. Go to him humble, and he'll bless you. And that is the end of Exodus 15.
Okay, how many scriptures in Exodus 16?
36.
36. Okay, you do that. Okay.
Rise, rise, rise. It's not skinny. Go ahead, get down.
Yeah, but you have to scoot over more.
Close out the chapter.
Kashara,
Kashara,
the Bar Yahweh,
the Bar Yahweh,
Anayisha,
Anayisha,
Wanashemai.
Wanashemai.
All that
Said,
what are we doing here?
what we doing here? Okay. Next reader.
Marakat ban Darnell, ban Yahawada, ban Yasharala,
Madium. Barak.
Yahabashim Yashab Brakatam,
Yahweh Yahshua Barakatah.
Khan, hallelujah. All right, we in the book of Exodus, chapter 16. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came into the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. Okay. So you can expect some stuff right now. All right. Understand this. Everybody's going to pass under the rod. All right. Everybody's going to be in the wilderness. Understand this is how you're going to be proved from day to day. Are you walking in his ways? How he's about to prove them, he's going to do the same thing to you in your everyday work, not just in wilderness, but now. Every time you leave your house he's going to prove you, and he's going to see how loyal you are to him. So pay attention to your day. All right, verse 5. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel at evening, Then ye shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. Okay, I got that. And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of the Lord, for that he heareth your murmuring against the Lord. And what are we that ye murmur against us? I just want to touch on that real quick. And Moses and Aaron, verse 6, and Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel at evening, then ye shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. A lot of people, the elder was talking about, a lot of people had just came. You know what I'm saying? They really had no trust in the Most High. They didn't really had any belief in not. So the people that followed the Most High and believed in the Most High, you're going to see who believes and who don't believe. They're going to be tested.
Your faith will be tested.
Verse 8, and Moses said, this shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. For that the Lord heareth your murmurings which ye murmur against him. And what murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. Ooh, that's a cut right there. For everybody that comes against us and they mock and everything, your problem's not with us. Your problem's with the Most High.
Okay.
And Moses spake by Aaron. And Moses spake by Aaron. All right. Say unto the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And it came to pass that at evening the quails came. I remember this. And it came to pass that at evening the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoar frost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, and every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents.
So take enough for all those that dwell in your tent.
Y'all gotta pay attention. Y'all gotta use discretion right now, okay? Use your wisdom. What's going on? And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning. And it bred worms and stank, and Moses was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses, and said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and see it that ye will see it. And that which remaineth over, lay up for you to keep until the morning. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, and there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the seventh day for to gather, and they found none. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? Hold on, read that again, 28. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the sixth day the bread of the 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place, let no man go out of his place on the seventh day. So the people rested on the seventh day. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, coriander seed, white, and that taste of it was like wafers made with honey. And Moses said, this is the thing which the Lord commanded. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread within wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord to be generations. Now he gave you an example. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein. So now you know what an omer is. All right, it's a pot full. And lay it up before the Lord to be kept for your generations. As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years, until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. 36. Now an omer is the 10th part of an ephah. All right. That is in.
So that's in. Okay, so on the sixth day, the Most High told them to gather double, so they wouldn't have to gather on the seventh day, which was Shabbat. He allowed the manna, which was coriander seed, to rain from heaven, and that's what they gathered up from the fields. All right. So the Most High allotted them food to eat, but as we'll read in the chapters to come, they had a problem with that also. But it is what it is. Okay. So let's close out in what you read?
That was Exodus 16.
16. Okay. You'll read Exodus 17, 1 through 17 properly. Okay.
Then Kal Asherah, Debar Yahweh, Anai Shai, Wanah Shemai. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here.
Okay, so that was Exodus 16. Okay, last chapter for the Torah portion. Exodus 17, registry.
Yashia Ban Jose.
Ban Aparayim. Ban Yashia. Amadim. Barak.
Yabashim Yashar Brakatam.
Okay, don't rub your mouth.
Yeah, don't rub your mouth until don't do nothing until we finish the movie.
No, you stand up. Okay, Exodus 17, gonna read to verse 16. Cut.
Yeah, come right here.
Okay, loud and clear. No, he cool, I guess. Yeah, he cool.
Call your book, your chapter.
Exodus 17, verse 1.
Okay, Exodus what?
Chapter 17, verse 1.
Okay, loud and clear, go.
And all
Congregations
of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys according to the commandments of the Lord, and pitched in
Rephidim.
And there was no water for the people to drink. Verse 2. And wherefore the people did chide with Moses, and said,
give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide you with me? Wherefore do you tempt the Lord?
So what's going on right now is they're scolding Moses for not having enough water. Now you're going to start seeing that things that you should do, things that you should not do. What's happening right now is the Most High is singling out the people that He don't want there. All right, their spirit is starting to flare. All right, read.
Verse 3. And the people thirsted therefore water, and the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? Verse 4. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do unto the people? This people, they be almost ready to stone me. Verse. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people and take with 3 of the elders.
Take with thee
of the elders of Israel, and thy rod wherewith thou smotest.
Wherewith thou.
With thou smotest the river, take and then had
taken
thy hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the
rock,
and Horeb, and thou shalt smite. And thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. Verse 7. And he called the name of the place Masha.
Masha, right? Masha.
Yeah, I believe.
Masha.
I gotta see it.
And
hold up.
What verse?
Masha.
What verse?
7.
Yeah, Masha.
Masha is Moses.
Go ahead.
And Masha and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempt the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? Verse 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel and with Dime. Verse 9. And Moses
Rephethadim. That H is silent. Rephethadim. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out men and go out fight with
Amalek. Amalek is the so-called Jews.
Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the rod of God is mine hand.
In mine hand.
Verse 10. Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. Verse 11. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and that stand throne,
And he sat thereon.
and sat thereon, and Aaron and his stayed up his hand. Then the one on the one side and the other on the other.
Sorry.
Verse 2.
It's still in verse 12.
And his hands were steady. Verse 12.
Slide. Their side, and his hands were steady unto the going down of the sun. Verse 13. And discomforted Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Verse 14.
So when Moses let down his hand, Amalek prevailed, right? Who you think was getting slaughtered?
Amalek.
No, Amalek prevailed. Who you think was? Oh yeah, out of Israel, who was getting slaughtered?
The peoples that
Were murmuring.
Yeah.
The people that were murmuring, because the people that let him not to touch him. But if he prevailed, the Most High got rid of the murmurers. He was getting rid of them. Right.
Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. Wait, am I saying his name right?
Yep, you said it.
Okay. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
What verse is that?
14.
That was verse 14.
All right, go ahead. Go on verse 16.
Okay, verse 15. And Moses built an altar and called the name of
it Jehovah Nissi.
Verse 16. For he said, because the Lord
What does that mean?
Jehovah
Nissi. What does that mean? I wanted it before 12. You should know that. Go ahead.
Verse 16. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generations to generation.
Because of that, Moses said he's gonna swear he's gonna have war between Israel and the nation of Amalek for generation to generation, up to this day. So, you didn't close out the chapter, so you don't have to close it out. Oh, it was. Okay, so we are gonna close out chapter 17. So let's stand. Okay, you ready?
Kal Shara,
Shara,
the Bar Yahweh,
the Bar Yahweh,
Naisha,
Naisha,
the Bar
what Nashimai,
Nashmai. All the Yahweh said, what are we doing here?
What we doing here?
Come on, 12. Okay, so that concludes the Torah portion. Shapir, you read Judges the 4th chapter, and Zanaki read Judges the 5th chapter. Okay, so we're reading about Deborah and Barak. Okay, Judges 4, verse 1. Go ahead.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 4 and verse 1. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord, when the Hud was dead. And the Lord sold them into the hand of Laban, king of Canaan.
So whenever we did evil in the eyesight of the Most High, He will allow another nation to bring us into captivity. And then when we repented of our sins, He had one of the judges lead us out of this captivity.
Khan.
All right, go ahead.
That reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which the of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Labadoth, she judged Israel at that time. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah, and Bethel, and Mount Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh, Naphtali, and said unto him, Hath not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali.
So
and
Deborah, who the Most High used at this point in time because of the wickedness of Israel, she was put in a position to an Israelite man, but she was a prophetess because the Most High dealt with her to deal with the nation. So she instructed Barak to gather up 10,000 men to go up and fight against this king or this leader. Go ahead.
And of the children of Zebulun, and I will draw unto thee to the river Kishon, Sisera, the captain of Laban's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand. And Barak said unto her, If thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go. And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor. For the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh, up with 10,000 men at his feet. And Deborah went up with him. Now Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, had severed himself from the Kenites.
Severed himself?
Had severed himself.
All right.
Salah.
Good.
And pitched his tent unto the plain of Zaniah, which is by Kadesh. And they showed Sisera that Barak, the son of Abinoam, was gone up to Mount Tabor. And Sisera gathered together all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people that were with him from Harosheth of the Gentiles, unto the river of Kishon. And Deborah said unto Barak, Up, for this is the day in which the Lord hath delivered Sisera into thine hand. Is not the Lord gone out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him. And the Lord discomfited Sisera and all his chariots and all his hosts with the edge of the sword before Barak, so that Sisera lighted down off his chariot and fled away on his feet.
So great slaughter of Sisera and his army, to the point that he had to jump off his chariot and fled on foot. And Barak was in hot pursuit.
Don't get away though.
Go ahead.
Verse 16. But Barak pursued after the chariots and after the hosts of Harosheth of the Gentiles. And all the hosts of Sisera fell upon the edge of the sword, and there was not a man left. Howbeit, Sisera fled away on his feet to the land of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite.
So he fled on foot till he comes to where?
To Jael.
Okay. And who is Jael?
The wife of Heber.
All right. So she was a wife.
Genesis 4 and 17. For there was peace between Laban, the king of Hazor, and the house of Heber the Kenite. And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said unto him, Turn in, my lord, turn in to me, Fear not. And when he had turned in unto her into the tent, she covered him with a mantle. And he said unto her, Give me, I pray thee, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. And she opened a bottle of milk and gave him drink and covered him.
So he asked for water, she gave him milk. He already tired, so I guess the milk probably just took him over the edge there.
Yeah, warm milk.
I don't know what it was, but man. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Again he said unto her, Stand in the door of the tent, and it shall be when any man doeth come and inquire of thee, and say, Is there any man here? That thou shalt say, No. Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent and took a hammer in her hand.
So a spike that is used to tie down a tent. She took one of those and a hammer and did what?
And took a hammer in her hand and went softly unto him and smote the nail into his temples.
So she creeped up softly so he couldn't hear her because he was dead asleep from the milk she done gave him and some butter, and drove the tent spike into the side of his temple with the hammer. Go ahead.
And fastened it into the ground, for he was fast asleep and weary, so he died.
So from this woman that Deborah had prophesied that a woman be the one to take him down, this woman used a tent spike and a hammer and slew what's his name?
Jael.
No. It starts with an S.
Sisera.
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 Yeah, that's who she killed. Sisera. She was the wife of Jael.
Oh, Barak, who killed Khan.
All right. Any more?
Yeah. Verse 23. So God subdued on that day Laban the king of Canaan before the children of Israel. And the hand of the children of Israel prospered and prevailed against Laban the king of Canaan until they had destroyed Laban king of Canaan. That's the end of that.
All right. Read Judges, the 5th chapter.
Judges chapter 5, verse 1. Then sang Deborah and Barak, the son of Abinadab, that on that day, saying, Praise ye the Lord for the avenging of Israel, when the people willingly offered themselves. Hear, O ye kings, give ear, O ye princes. I will sing unto the Lord, I will sing praise to the Lord God of Israel. Lord, when thou wentest out of Seir, when thou marchest out of the field of Edom, the earth trembled, and the heavens dropped, and clouds also dropped water, and the mountains melted from before the Lord, even at Sinai from before the Lord God of Israel. In the days of Shamgar, the son of Anath, in the days of Aiel, the highways were unoccupied, and the travelers walked all by ways. The inhabitants of the villages ceased. They ceased in Israel until that I, Deborah, arose in Israel. They chose new gods. Then was war in the gates, where there a shield or spear seen among 40,000 in Israel. My heart is toward the governors of Israel, that offered themselves willingly among the people. Bless ye the Lord. Speak ye that ride on the white asses, and ye that sit in judgment and walk by the way, that they are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawn water. There they shall rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of the villages of Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates.
All right, what verse you in?
Verse 12. awake, Deborah. Awake, utter a song. Arise, Barak, and lead that captivity captive, thou son of Abaniam. Then he made him that remaineth have dominion over the nobles among the people, over the mighty. Out of Ephraim was there a root of them against Amalek. After thee, Benjamin among the people out of Machir came down governors, and out of Zebulun, that they handled the pen of the writer. And the princes of Issachar were the Deborah, even Issachar, and also Barak. And he was sent on foot into the valley for the divisions of Reuben. There were great thoughts of heart. So Deborah and Barak were Issacharites.
Is that what you read? Read it again.
Come. And the Issachar were with Deborah, even Issachar, and also Barak. He was sent on foot into the valley for the divisions of Reuben. There were great thoughts of heart.
I have to relook that up. That didn't sound clear.
Come.
All right.
Why artest thou among the sheepfolds to hear the blessings of the flocks? For the divisions of Reuben, there were great searchings of heart. Gilead abode beyond Jordan. Why did Dan remain in ships? Asher continued on the sea shore, and abode in the breaches. Zebulun and Naphtali were a people that jeoparded their lives unto the death in the high places of the field. The kings came and fought. Then fought the kings of Canaan in Tanakh by the waters of Megiddo. They took no gain of money. They fought from heaven. The stars in their courses fought against Sisera. The river Kishon swept them away. That ancient river, the river Kishon, O my soul, thou wast trodden down strength. Then were the horse hoofs broken by the means of the prancings of their mighty ones. Curse ye Meroz, said the angel of the Lord. Curse ye bitterly, and inhabitants thereof, because they came not to the help of the Lord, against the mighty. Blessed above women shall Aiel, the wife of Hebar, the Kenite, be blessed. Shall she be above women in the tent? He asked, and she gave him milk. She brought forth butter in a lordly dish.
So here they're telling the story of what happened to him. Okay.
She put her hand to the nail, and her right hand to the workman's hammer. And with the hammer she smote Sisera. She smote off his head when she had pierced and stricken through his temples. At her feet he bowed and fell. He lay down at her feet and bowed. He fell. Where he bowed, there he fell down dead. The mother of Sisera looked out a window and cried through the lattice, Why is his chariot so long in coming? Why tarry the wheels of his chariots? Her wise ladies answered her, yea, she returned answer to herself. Gave they not sped? Have they not sped? Have they not divided the prey to every man, a damsel or two? To Sisera a prey of diverse colors of needlework, and diverse colors of needlework on both sides. Meet for the necks of that take the spoil. So let all thine enemies perish, O Lord, but let them that love him be as sun, when he goeth forth in his might, and the land had rest 40 years.
That was it?
Come.
So we see how Deborah was used by the Most High to help Israel at a time where Israelite men were not in their right state of mind, and to basically be the encouragement that they needed to do what they needed to have done, and that is stand and fight for the Most High. So with that being said, we can go to Matthew. You go to Matthew, the 14th chapter, verses 22 to verse 33. The New Testament of Brit Kadash, read about Yahushua.
Matthew what?
22 to 33.
No, Matthew, the 14th chapter, verses 22.
23 to 33.
Yeah.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 14, verse 22. And straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit, and they cried out for fear. But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid.
So he walking on the water, and the disciples seeing him didn't know if he was spirit or not. And so he answered and said, No, it's me, Yahushua. Go ahead.
And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt?
So he had doubt. He started out without doubt, but once that wind started blowing up and the water started splashing up, he lost confidence in what he was doing. He lost sight of Yahushua, who he had sight of when he first started. So in retrospect,
bring it out.
We can't doubt what the word says, that we will be delivered, but we're going to go through hell to get to that deliverance.
And a lot of people, as myself, have been through those stages of, you started off with faith and, those monstrous or boisterous waves come and hit you. And that's just, that could be, things going on in your family or things going on in the Akim and things that are, that'll persuade your faith to stop, could cause you to lose faith,
I mean, the cross of Christ is heavy. And to carry that cross, you're going to have to bear the weight of the cross. Okay, that's the tribulation, the anguish, the agony, the loss of things close and personal. Count it all loss to gain what? The kingdom of heaven. This is not going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be able to do it.
You're just gonna have to endure.
You gotta want it. All right. If you want immortality, you want Goku's power, you're gonna have to fight for it. You gotta have to train for it. Goku didn't just get the power; he had to train for it, and still training.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't gonna be no Super Saiyan just sitting on the couch, eating popcorn or boiled eggs at night.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fight. This ain't gonna be easy. That's why the scripture's supposed to give you comfort.
Give you encouragement and give you a way to follow. All these examples that we read about in these stories of our forefathers are examples for us to hold on to in these modern times, in these modern days. All right, what the mother and her 7 sons went through for not eating swine. What the Maccabees went through for rededicating the temple. What you read about in the story of Purim, okay, with Esther, okay, you know, how it was a decree to kill all the Israelites. But Esther went before the king, which could have meant certain death, had not the king received the dream by the Most High. Again, a test of faith. So, was that it? All right, go ahead.
To 33, right?
Yeah.
I started at 30. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me.
Okay.
And this goes with that precept. All those that say, Lord, Lord, will not be saved. They're gonna sink.
Right. Have we not cast out devils in your name? Have we not done miracles in your name? He gonna say, give from around me, ye workers of iniquity. Okay. So, you know, all the fakers and shakers and money makers, you know, come tomorrow morning, you know, they're gonna go through the little song and dance. But man, we are in the fourth quarter, you know. Now it's never been the time, but now definitely isn't the time to start playing with the word of the Most High.
That great awakening was good. Everybody woke up. People waking up now.
Now you got to go through a couple of storms. You're gonna hear that thunder, that lightning, okay, that hail, okay, that wind, okay, that destroying storm, okay. It's not gonna be comfortable. That's the point I'm making. All right. Anything else?
I got some more. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they were come into the ship, the wind ceased. Then they were in the ship, came and worshipped him, saying, Of a truth, thou art the Son of Yahweh. That was 33.
Okay. Thou art the truth, thou art the Son of the Most High, the living Elohim. Okay. But they had doubt. But he demonstrated what? Always a demonstration. Yeah.
So to be the son of Yahweh, do you need to be like a breed of him?
Yeah, you have to be of the nation of Israel.
Or does Yahweh have to physically make his son?
Yeah, he made his son. Okay. All right. So is there any comments on the thing that you know?
I'm
No.
over there right now.
All right. That being said, we can stand and close out. All right. Okay, here we go. It is our duty to praise the master of all, describe greatness of the author of creation, who has not made us like the nations of the lands, nor place of the earth, who has not made our portion like theirs, nor our destiny like all their multitudes. For they worship vanity and emptiness and pray to a God who could not save. But we bow down. But we bow in worship and thank the Supreme King of Kings, the Holy One. Blessed be he who extends the heavens and establishes the earth, and whose throne of glory is in the heavens above, and whose power is present in the highest of heights. He is our Elohim, there is no other. Truly he is our King, there is none else. And as written in the Torah, ye shall know and take to heart this day that Yahweh is Elohim, and the children, and shall talk of them, when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, when thou risest up, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thy eyes, and thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. Bashem, Yahushai, Hamashiach, Aman. Okay, Aman, you understand? Okay, you can do the 10 Commandments. You got a scrappy?
in Hebrew. Yeah, how about that? I got that. Do you? Huh? Really? Oh, man, that's crappy. Well, you got a week to get it together. All right. It's gonna be filmed. Okay, here we go. 10 Commandments. Anya.
Anya.
Alahaika.
Alahaika.
Ashara.
Hashara.
Awataza.
Awataza.
Afrika.
Afrika.
Marataza.
Marataza.
Batazaya.
Batazaya.
Mabaya.
Mabaya.
Da'ibadam.
Da'ibadam.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
La'a.
La'a.
Yahaya.
Yahaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Arkarium.
Arkarium.
Alpanya.
Alpanya.
La'a.
La'a.
Da'isha.
Da'isha.
Laka.
Laka.
Fasal.
Fasal.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Da'ibadam.
Da'ibadam.
La'a.
La'a.
Dalakwaka.
Dalakwaka.
Shem Yahweh.
Shem Yahweh.
Bashawa.
Bashawa.
Zakat.
Zakat.
Hayawam.
Hayawam.
Hashaba.
Hashaba.
Lakodashwa.
Lakodashwa.
Kaba.
Kaba.
Abaka.
Abaka.
Wa'amaka.
Wa'amaka.
La'a.
La'a.
Darataza.
Darataza.
La'a.
La'a.
Dana'a.
Dana'a.
La'a.
La'a.
Dagana.
Dagana.
La'a.
La'a.
Da'ina.
Da'ina.
Shakur.
Shakur.
La'a.
La'a.
Dakamad.
Dakamad.
Ko.
Ko.
Ashara.
Ashara.
Lyra'ika.
Lyra'ika.
The first greatest commandments. Hear, O Israel.
Hear, O Israel.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Allahayim.
Allahayim.
Yahweh is one.
Yahweh is one.
And thou shalt love.
And thou shalt love.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thy Allahayim.
Thy Allahayim.
With all thy heart.
With all thy heart.
With all thy soul.
With all thy soul.
With all thy might.
With all thy might.
The second greatest commandment. Leviticus 19:18. La'a.
La'a.
The Quam.
The Quam.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
The Tar.
The Tar.
Af.
Af.
Banya.
Banya.
Ainka.
Ainka.
Wa.
Wa.
Ahaka.
Ahaka.
Laraika.
Laraika.
Kawamaka.
Kawamaka.
Anya.
Anya.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thou shalt not.
Thou shalt not
Avenge. Nor bear.
nor bear
Any grudge.
any grudge
Against the children.
against the children,
Of thy. Thou.
but thou
Shalt
shalt love
thy neighbor.
thy neighbor
As thyself.
as thyself.
I am Yahweh.
I am Yahweh.
Thy Elohim.
Thy Elohim.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, Exodus 22-18.
This is Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. The Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God. Visit the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may belong upon the land unto which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So called 1 Asha'ah, the memorial of the woman. Now when Yahushua was in Bethlehem in the house of Simon the leper, they came unto him, a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence, 1 year's wages, and given to the poor. When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she has worked a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she has poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever this gospel shall preach in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman has done be told for a memorial of her. Bashem.
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Haman,
Haman,
Hallelujah,
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 Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Haman.
Haman.
Okay, sisters, be seated.
Okay, Madium, Barak, Yahweh Bashem Yashab Rakatham.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yadi Matah. Malim Shabbat. Hands behind your back. Sisters stand. Salute our sisters. Madium, Barak, Yahweh Shema Athan.
Yahweh Shema
Yahweh Shemayatah.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Okay, so this concludes this week's Torah portion. Keep the faith, stay diligent, stay in your scriptures. Okay, next we'll pick up next week from Exodus the 17th chapter starting from Exodus the 18th chapter, because we finished the 17th chapter. Okay. Half Torah portion was Judges the 4th chapter and Judges the 5th chapter, and the Brit Hadash was in Matthew the 14th chapter, verses 22 to verse 33. So we were reading about the Exodus coming out of the captivity of Egypt. Well, that same Exodus will happen here in America, which is spiritually known as Egypt, known as Sodom and Gomorrah. So stay diligent, keep the faith, start training mentally, physically, and spiritually. Do what you can physically, prepare for these last days. Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, and Shabbat Shalom for those that's still in their Shabbat. Okay.